Yeah, you're
And it
right
was
about
pre
that.
Me Too, because a lot of that was going on in across the entertainment across the world, and there was no voice. I mean, I think
Not just in entertainment,
no, yeah, across the world, across
yeah,
in different areas, and I
in
think
people's homes.
if this had happened now, it's quite easy for if because now if this was brought up, people again losing their jobs for stuff they did 20, 30 years ago. But
Yes.
so when so but then so Raphael talks to you about the group. Now
Yeah.
you must have had a little bit more knowledge about labels and deals and stuff. What was the situation when he said, "Look, hey, Lucy Pearl"? Did you look at the contract and think, "Okay, I'm not going to get 2 cents a record and stuff"?
I didn't do the right thing because, like I said, Raphael, I had known him literally since we were both 16 years old.
Mm.
So he played in my band in San Francisco. I knew him. I was comfortable with him. He was like my brother, and we had grown up together. So I didn't feel like he was going to step on me with that contract. I thought he was going to be fair and have my back, and he did not. So that was on me. I didn't read the contract. I read it, but I didn't redline it and go through it with a fine tooth comb like I did the En Vogue contract. And I just signed it as it was, and it wasn't a good contract at all. And I didn't know that until after the fact. It was too late by then.
Oh wow!
Sort of the reasons why you did sort of a couple of singles, and then after first that you decided to leave after the first album.
No, they kicked me out as well. Raphael didn't like the fact. No, so what? First of all, Lucy Pearl was I'm so tired. I'm trying to get the light right because the sun is going down. I apologize. Everybody's gonna be like, "Be still, be still." Cool. But Lucy Pearl from the very beginning was a one-off, and Raphael, he just didn't like the fact that I was getting all the attention. And we were actually in London the first time that I noticed his jealousy of me was in Vegas. We were here in Vegas, but I wasn't living here yet. And we were doing Sprite Night for the Billboard Awards, and so sorry. We were doing Sprite Night for the Billboard Awards. And I have to get near the plug so that this light stays on when the sun goes down. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No.
So we were doing the Sprite Night, and one of the journalists walked over to us to do an interview, and he stood between me and, so we were standing up against the wall waiting for, it's like all the tables have different countries and different parts of the country here in America as well. So you'll see Colorado over there, you'll see Cincinnati over there, you'll see Australia back there, you'll see, you know what I mean? It was all these different tables that you go to do interviews. You sit down at the table and you do an interview. And so we were waiting for our next interview, and a guy named Lee Bailey walks over to us, and he's an older man. So he's got on his hat that he always wears and his glasses, and he takes out a dictaphone out of his pocket. He's got on like a jacket pocket, and he takes out a dictaphone, little recorder. And he steps in between. Ali was to my right and Raphael was to my left, and we were just standing there waiting. And Lee Bailey steps in between me and Raphael. What did he do that for? Raphael was like, "Excuse me, don't you fucking see I'm standing here?" And he walked away. And I was like, I looked at Ali and I was like, "We're done. We're done." Oh my, because you don't want that kind of reputation out there that you curse somebody out for no reason. And Lee Bailey didn't even, luckily, he didn't think twice about it. He didn't think, "Oh, that was rude." He might have been thinking it was rude, but he didn't care. You know what I mean? He kept going with us, and he was like, "Well, everybody wants to talk to Dawn Robinson, En Vogue." And he did the little, he did our interview right there, standing there with the little dictaphone with me and Ali, because Raphael walked away. And then our first time in London, same thing. Raphael did not like the fact that everybody wanted to talk to me. He had a problem with that. He didn't like it at all. And one of the journalists, when we get overseas, we have to do a series of like all day interviews. You start from 8 a.m. in the morning. If you get a little time to eat breakfast, and then if you can eat a little lunch in between, but you're doing interview after interview after interview, because it's not like we're going to come overseas every other day, and you guys don't see us that often. So once we get there, whether it's Japan or London or wherever, Germany, they have a slew of interviews for us to do. So we were doing probably our 12th interview, and Raphael was tired. of everybody all the journalists asking about me, asking me questions more than anybody else. And so it was our fifth interview that day. And the woman said, so Dawn. She kept asking me questions. And Raphael sat up. He was sitting on the couch, but he was leaning back. And he sat up and he said, what the fuck? Don't you see we're sitting here too? Like Ali and I, because I was sitting in the middle of, it was Raphael on the right, on my left, and Raphael, Ali on my right. And he looked at Ali and he said, don't you see us sitting here? Wow. We've done shit in our careers as well. What the fuck? You're not talking to us at all. And she said, Dawn has done a lot more. Ooh. A lot more. And I was like, oh my God. And I mean, after that, I tried to play small. I remember kind of shrinking down like, oh, that doesn't feel good. But a lot of the world does not know who the Tonys are. They may not know who Tribe Called Quest is, but they know who En Vogue is. We were much bigger. And so that's what she was trying to tell him. She wasn't trying to put him down. She was just telling him the truth. Dawn has done a lot more. When we got to Germany, maybe 3 days later or so,
Wait a minute now. I'm trying to think. Was this before anniversary? Before It Never Rains in California? Just me and you. Whatever you want. Because come on, Tony. I think they came out around the same time, right? So how did she do? Yeah, En Vogue and Tony came out around. I believe, if not, I think Tony might have came out before they did, or might around the same time. So how did they do more? And plus, I don't know.
Germany wanted to talk to Ali. Only Ali. It was a hip hop extravaganza. Like I was like, oh my God, we got to go to lunch then. We're gonna let him do his interviews by himself because they loved hip hop there. It was a hip hop culture. And Ali was like, oh my God. He said, you guys know more about Tribe Called Quest than I do. I have to do my research. That's how much they want to talk to him. And I was like, see, Raphael, they don't want to talk to me and you. And I'm not upset about that. Like, this is Ali's thing. Let him have his moment. You know, why be jealous of him? Right. Because they don't want to talk to us. It was childish. It was very childish. And I also, when we got to Paris, I brought a article from Gwen Stefani and No Doubt. And she was talking about the fact that the guys in her group, because it was a band that started out as a garage band together, garage, as you guys say, a garage band. She was saying that the guys were jealous of her and they didn't understand why she got all the limelight at first. And she was like, first of all, I'm a girl. Anytime there's a girl in a group, the girl always gets more attention. That's one. Second of all, you guys are not going to be on the cover of, Vogue magazine because girls don't get on the cover of Vogue magazine. I do. So when I get on the cover of Vogue magazine, I bring back more attention and more stardom and more focus on the group. Everybody wins when I win. So stop being a little bitch, stop being little bitches, and make sure that let's get this money, let's get paid. And they did. Yeah. And that's what I was trying to tell Raphael. He came to my room in Amsterdam. We were still overseas, but we were in Amsterdam by then. And he said, Dawn, I'm trying to make this work. I said, Raphael, this was the other thing that I had a problem with because we were supposed to have our album out by June. Here we are in November. Our album wasn't out. And I was like, Raphael, the bank has been calling me about my house. Wow. I'm going to lose my house. And I was telling him prior to that, I need money. I need a little bit of money. And it wasn't a lot. It was what, $1,500 was my mortgage. Damn, $1,500. So, and he told me when I signed to Lucy Pearl, because I turned down a deal with Bob.
Oh, that's cool. $1,500, dude. You serious? He could have got that out of his pocket and gave her that. Damn. That's crazy. The thumbs up, buddy.
Jameson, like I said, I had a few deals on the table. Bob Jameson was at RCA, and he flew me to New York, and I had a deal on the table with him, and I turned that down to do Lucy Pearl. So if I had your back, you should have my back like you said you would, because he told me, I don't have a lot of money to give you up front, but I can figure out how to find what you need if you need it. And I was like, cool. If you if that's what if you're telling me that when I'm down on my luck, or I need a little bit of money, you're going to figure out how to help me out, then cool. I'll sign with you. And I signed that deal. So now here it is. We're in November, and we were supposed to put out the album in June. The bank is.
She should have went solo. Yeah, she should have did that. Don't wait till I'm on my dick, then you can help me out. Help me out before I get on my dick. You know what I'm saying?
Calling. They're knocking on my door, and I need to pay my mortgage. And he was like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you. Every man for himself."
Ooh.
But you told me that if I sign with you, that you'd have my back, and now you're saying every man for himself. Like what?
Man.
He's like, "Yeah, we'll call the woman at Overbrook who was doing the soundtrack for Love and Basketball. Her name is Pilar. Pilar, I forgot her last name." He said, "Call Pilar and let her know that you're going to do the soundtrack by yourself." I was like, "Raphael, that is bad business beyond. That's like so unprofessional on every level." Yeah. You don't do that. Like, you just don't do that. If I call Pilar and tell her that I'm going to do the song by myself, she's going to be frantic. First of all, she had it in line for Lucy Pearl to do the song for the soundtrack Love and Basketball. And so here I am calling her. So I called her because he said, call her. And I did. And I said, Pilar, this is Dawn. I'm going to do the soundtrack alone. She's like, huh? What? I don't understand. So wait a minute. So it's not going to be Lucy Pearl. I don't understand what happened. I was like, oh my God. Okay. I can't explain. So I said, don't worry about it. Lucy Pearl's going to do the soundtrack. Oh. And I ended up literally losing my house.
Oh.
So as far as everybody's like, oh, we need a reunion, you know, Lucy Pearl. I'm like, I have tried. I really have. I've given it a shot or two. We've had conversations. At one point, we were going to have Raphael, myself, and Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest, because Ali was doing other projects. He didn't want to be a part of it. So he gave us this blessing, and we were going to do that with Q-Tip. And then after a while, it was just me and Q-Tip on the phone and no Raphael. And he said every now and then Raphael gets like this. He disappears. I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, we're supposed to be talking about a reunion. Yeah. Or getting together to do a new project together as Lucy Pearl, and Raphael just doesn't show up. He doesn't call us. Like, I don't understand. And so I picked up the phone and I called Ali right then. And I was like, Ali, I'm watching these things about you guys on TV. He's like, oh, it's on again? He said, yeah, they came on one time before. We talked a little bit. And he said, Raphael wants you to call him. I was like, every time you tell me Raphael wants me to call him, I give you my number or him to call me, and he never calls.
Wow.
I said, so give him my number. Have him call me. And then when we hung up, I was like, no, I lost my house. I lost my house with this man. Are you kidding me? I have nothing to say to Raphael. No. I'm not doing anything with him until he makes amends with me. He has to apologize. That's not a small thing. It's not like I lost a favorite pen that I had, or I left my wallet in his car, or a jacket that I left behind in his car. This is my house. Meaning that my equity was affected, meaning that my, oh my God, the money that I put into the house, my equity, like I said, my down payment, I lost all of that. My credit is still affected to this day. My credit is affected. Yeah. So I said, until he makes amends and apologizes to me for that, I don't want to talk to Raphael about anything else. There's nothing we have to discuss.
Damn, that's cold-blooded, Raphael.
I was like, see, Raphael.
This is from this is
they don't want to talk to me.
Halftime Chat. That's the name of the YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe to them right now. You guys should go ahead too. This is Halftime Chat. That's cold-blooded, Raphael. I mean, I know you're going through a loss of losing your half brother Dwayne. You know, he passed away last week, but damn, that's cold-blooded, man. That's so cold-blooded. Let that girl lose her, and he could have took $1,500 out of his pocket and gave it to her. That's fucked up. Is Raphael Saadiq a prima donna like that? Maybe that's why Tony broke. Remember Tony broke up. That's why he ended up doing Lucy Pearl. I wonder was that has to do something with Raphael being a prima donna? You know. Because I guess there's two sides to your story, so I would like to hear Raphael's side. He probably will never speak about it. I mean, of course not right now. He's dealing with the death of his brother, so he probably ain't worried about this shit. Yeah. It's kind of cool that they dropping this now, you know. But it's all on the news that she just lost her house. Well, she was homeless for 2 or 3 years. She been sleeping in her car. This is so sad, dog. In Vogue was one of the top groups in the world. It was doing the Grammys. This was like 25 years ago. It's funny, a difference of 25 years. It's hard to maintain a career in music and entertainment, man. To be prosperous and maintain like a living off of your art, that's very difficult. Damn. And sometimes you may end up homeless trying to do that shit, man. But that's being homeless in your mid 50s is not cool. That's not cool at all. You know what I'm saying? Being so pushing toward your elderly ages and you used to be somewhere comfortable in a house, home, hot food, stove, nice warm bed. That's so crazy. I want to. She got a GoFundMe. I'm gonna check and see if she got a GoFundMe. I'm gonna send her some money. That's cold blooded. You know, I used to like to watch En Vogue when I was a kid. It was with them damn tight dresses, them sexy ass legs. That's thing. All four. It was four of them. All four of them was sexy. En Vogue. Yeah. Anyway, what y'all think about this video, man? Leave your comments and subscribe to Charles and Israel. Hit the thumbs up button.